Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming here today. What is the Plant-Based Treaty? The Plant-Based Treaty is a coalition of individuals like yourselves, groups, cities, businesses, coming together asking for a plant-based treaty to help stop the climate crisis. So I'm just going to play a short video. It's only a couple of minutes, so you don't have to hear my voice. What the Plant-Based Treaty is. Hope you enjoy that.
What is the Plant-Based Treaty? The Plant-Based Treaty Initiative is a grassroots campaign designed to put food systems at the forefront of combating the climate crisis. As a companion to the Paris Agreement, the Plant-Based Treaty aims to halt the widespread degradation of critical ecosystems caused by animal agriculture and to promote a shift to healthier, sustainable plant-based diet.
We are urging scientists, individuals, groups, businesses, cities and government to endorse this call to action and put pressure on national government to negotiate an international plant-based treaty,
which will focus on the 3 R's. Relinquish. No land use change, ecosystem degradation or deforestation for the purpose of animal agriculture. Redirect. An active transition away from animal-based agricultural systems to plant-based food systems. And finally, restore. Restore key ecosystems and reforest the earth. Whether you are acting alone or as part of a climate action group, school, hospital, business or city, you can be a part of a growing do-it-together movement, forging change and helping build a brighter future for generations to come. Endorse the Plant-Based Treaty if you haven't already, then tell your friends, family and colleagues to jump on board. Visit our campaign hub to get active, make a donation if you can, and subscribe to our newsletter for action alerts and updates.
Thank you. So just to summarise, it's got 3 core principles. The first principle is stop chopping down the rainforest, stop at the expansion of animal agriculture, stop building slaughterhouses, switch from a meat-based food system to a plant-based food system, and finally, give the earth back its forest, restore and rewild. If you believe in those 3 principles, please endorse the Plant-Based Treaty. So it was launched in August 2021, and the successes so far, we've got 147,000 individuals, 1,400 NGOs, 1,800 businesses, 1,000 councillors, and 26 cities have endorsed. So great news, but that's just the beginning. In the UK, we've got 5 cities that have endorsed: Lambeth, Haywood Heath, Exmouth, Norwich, and we've got a capital, we've got Edinburgh. And there's one more to come, but I've been told not to reveal that one. But that's a great success. And more importantly, in small there, you've got 700 councillors. So a lot of councillors endorsed the treaty, but you've got the political navigation of getting councils to come on board. So there's a lot of work, and we have got a success from last week, which you'll hear about shortly. So celebrity endorsements, we've got plenty of them. Maybe not all of you are behind like celebrity endorsements, but a lot of these people are key influences. And look, my guilty pleasure is Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's always speaking out. He attends all the Save movements, and he endorses the Plant-Based Treaty, and whenever he can, uses his platform, as do all the others. But in addition to all the celebrities, we've got athletes, health professionals, and politicians who've endorsed and speak for the Plant-Based Treaty. We've got 2 goals. The first goal is a global plant-based treaty as a companion to the Paris Agreement. So the global conversation is all about fossil fuels, and that's great. We support, the stopping of fossil fuels. But scientists have said if you stop all fossil fuels today, we still won't meet our target set at Paris for the 1.5% rise. So we have to have the conversation with animal agriculture, and that's what the plant-based treaty is. So whenever we get to a COP event, we should be able to be there to support. So we support the fossil fuel treaty, but we should have alongside the fossil fuel treaty, the plant-based treaty. So implementation of the plant-based treaty at local level, this is really about addressing the councils, public events, schools, care homes, hospitals, and prisons and more. And this is about having the conversation of bringing in a plant-based option. So what does that look like? Well, in principle, we're saying think globally, act locally. And this is how it looks like at local levels. So we've done a vegan run, which we do annually. It's all about promoting plant-based treaty, plant-based options, and we get hundreds of people attending there. We hold events in town where we've got raising awareness. So when you see those 147,000 individual sign-ups, what you're seeing is activism at a grassroots level where people can sign up and we can raise awareness. So that's taking action at a local level. So just going back to Edinburgh, Edinburgh being a key capital that's endorsed, what they've agreed to when they've signed up for the plant-based treaty, that in all their meetings, functions, and public events and festivals, they're going to provide vegan options. Hospitals and healthcare, you can read the bullet points there, but I'm going to give you my personal experience because last week I was in hospital for 5 days. What happened when I went there, they asked for my dietary requirements. I said I was vegan. There was a board with 12 options on there with dietary requirements, diabetics, vegetarian, halal, kosher, and the others. But there wasn't a vegan option. So I said I was vegan. The first thing they said to me was, well, we don't have a vegan option. So they got a marker, put next to the vegetarian, the word vegan. And they said, we haven't got any food for you today, but we're going to order some for you for the next 4 days. So for that first day, I had no food. So dressed in my hospital gown, I went down to the cafe, found 2 cafes. This is, if you want to know, it's within Shaw Hospital. I found 2 cafes. I was the only one in a hospital gown. There was bacon butties, pork sausages, and no vegan options. I asked about the chips and what they were fried in, so they weren't sure. So I didn't have any food that day. The next 4 days, I had vegan options. My breakfast was toast with strawberry jam or marmalade. And for the first 2 days, they had butter on. So I had no breakfast for the first 2 days. And then my meals were accompanied with yogurt, which, on close inspection, they contained milk, so I couldn't have the yogurts. My mum was in hospital at Christmas, not to labour the point. She's got dementia. We had to be there at lunchtime because they kept serving her meat, and she's a vegetarian. So really what we should have is vegan as a default in hospitals. Hospitals should be providing a vegan option, and if you want a meat option, then you should be able to order that. Now that sounds crazy, but in New York, that's exactly what they do. That's the mayor of New York, and in their hospitals, their default food is vegan. And if you want a meat option, you can order it. So, we're not asking for something that's not already been done. So here we've got cities acting as the world leader. This is New York. New York has lowered the carbon emission of the food that they purchase by 37%. And they've done this by having meatless Mondays and plant-powered Fridays. They've also made plant-forward meals in the default in their health and hospital, which is what I was just saying, my example. So, look, that's the gold standard of what we want to achieve in our sort of cities. So, I should have brought one of these leaflets. So, we have the starter kits, vegan starter kits. I know they're not going to be any use to this audience, but Salford have agreed to take that starter kit and distribute those in every library in Salford and in schools. So that's millions of vegan starter kits going into libraries and schools. So that's great. Yeah, so they're distributing that. Does the plant-based treaty endorsement have legal implications? No, it's non-binding. I mentioned there's 26 cities. You can get involved at any level, from making vegan options available at events, festivals, council meetings, all the way to bringing them into hospital and schools, encouraging meat-free Mondays, plant-powered Fridays. So anyone can get involved at whatever level that suits that city, business or individual. But it's a non-binding treaty. What can you do? Sign the plant-based treaty as an individual. We've got 147,000 individuals. You can ask your city to endorse the plant-based treaty. There's a pre-prepared email which will go to your local councillor and MP. You've got a website there, but we've got a stand outside, so please come along and ask. And sign the petitions linked on our website. Again, just same again. If you want to get involved, there's this local call that we have every Friday. It's between 3 and 7. It's a global meeting that's taking place, and there's a link there. But equally, come back to our stand, and we'll be able to help. Yeah, and I think finally, endorse the plant-based treaty. If you believe in those 3 core principles that we said, stop chopping down the rainforest, swap to a plant-based diet, and finally, give the earth back its forest. If you believe in those principles, please support the plant-based treaty. Thank you. I'm going to hand over to